Welcome to your daily dose of dopamine. My name is Robert, and I am thrilled to be here with my pal Will, who I know as Brother Will. Brother Will, how are you?
How are you, brother Bob?
So good, man. And for those who don't know, Brother Will is the reason for the season when it comes to music in my world of film. Film for me is it's funny, Will. I have to introduce this to some people because it's in some ways so much in my background, even though it is, as you know, still in the foreground. That people go, oh, do you have a film background? I'm like, yeah, okay. So Will and I have worked on, I was just doing a count, I've got the IMDb page up here, 6 documentaries together. And they are, am I getting that count right? I think it's right. So the original Boys of Summer, then Redemption of the Fall, then Share the Road, then You Should Know Jack, the Jack LaLanne documentary,
Yeah.
was a summer second base, and then shortstop. So 6 documentaries, man. I mean, I am so grateful and thankful to you. And to give people a little backdrop on you, you also are a PhD associate professor there at, I'm sorry, the school is where in Texas?
UT Arlington. I'm actually assistant professor. Um, my official degree title is DMA, which is Doctor of Musical Arts. Um,
Perfect.
but yeah, six, and then a handful of just little other projects that we work on together that just go hand in hand with everything we've done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I want to talk about all of that because all of our folks out there that are engaged, a lot of people who watch this, these shows are within the Parkinson's community. And as you know, I engage them through the program called Cinema Therapy. And that program is there to help people engage, explore, and unlock pieces of themselves to live a better quality of life. Parkinson's is, such a terrible disease in terms of the confounding nature of what do I do with this? And it's so much more than the physical. So, art therapy, as some people call it, and this direct way of doing it is a way of people finding, different pathways to joy, engagement, living differently than perhaps they even thought possible. Have you looked much into or explored, I mean, art therapy from the music side? Does that ever cross your path?
there is actually a path for people. It's called music therapy, and you don't even have to be a musician to go in that path of study. Um, and these all stemmed out of and I can't, pardon me for not recalling his guy's name, but the guy that was they based the movie Awakenings on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And but realizing that music, they're finding people that are in these different states that they will recall things, or they'll wake up um, when they hear a certain song or a certain type of music that was reflective of their past or their liking. But yeah, there's definitely something therapeutic, and I think there's more to explore in that. I just, me personally, without having to deal with something major like Parkinson's or anything, I, and I could probably speak for most people, but music's just always therapeutic to me. And it just, you get in a mood, you want to turn on a certain type of music. Um, one of the things I teach in one of the questions I present in my songwriting class is, um, when you're feeling really bad or really sad, or you just broke up with someone, why is it that you want to go listen to sad music? You would think you would want to listen to the opposite, but it's basically because we're developing an affinity for what that emotion that it's being portrayed. So
Well, and there's honesty in it too. It's hard to engage people honestly sometimes about emotions because when we're using language, language is so limited. And as a guy who my stock and trade writing, so much is about language. I constantly point to and tell, my students, yeah, we've got language, we want to use it carefully, and we also want to recognize how limited it is. we're
great point.
I mean, and this is where music cuts right through that. And you being a jazz guy, and I'm nowhere near your affinity for it. I mean, I should say education for it, but affinity for it. I freaking love it. I put on jazz all the time in the background for me. It's the one music I can play that doesn't distract my thinking process. It works with my neurological, underpinnings to just go. It gives me flow. It gives me mood. It gives me, and it moves me in all kinds of directions. Anyway,
Yeah.
look, that's our first 5 minutes. We've given people enough to say either they want to hear more or they're going to wait for our next guest. But I think people are going to want to hear more. So let's come back for our next dose. I'll see you in a
Yeah.
minute.